Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and today, I just want to eat. I'm a man that enjoys the simple things in life. Food, in particular. And of course, a particular interest of mine are crisps. And if you were to ask me what my favourite crisps were, well, as far as top 3 is concerned, Pringles. And when I say crisps, I mean chips. Sweet, delicious, crunchy chips. Before we begin, this is not a sponsored video. I just love food, so take it as you will. Plus, I think this is a really interesting topic, so good reason why I'm making a video on it. Now, I'm a grown-ass man, but these crisps are some of the hardest things to get into. There we go. Not because of the top, but because of the shape of the actual canister. And if I was to get my hand in there, like so, the first few are fine, but it gets even more difficult further down. I have to admit that there's something really unique about the design of this, which really speaks to me. The man to thank for such a unique design is none other than Frederick Bauer, an American organic chemist and food storage technician, which would effectively be the person to go on to design the infamous Pringles Can. He worked for Procter & Gamble, otherwise known as P&G. After he retired, he went into research and development, and later into quality control. His experience in both of these fields eventually led him to be an inventor. After much research, eventually, the idea of creating a dough out of dried potato flakes was hit upon. The consistent saddle shape we all know today is known as a hyperbolic paraboloid, apparently. Their designers reportedly used supercomputers to ensure that the aerodynamics of the crisps would make sure that they would remain in place during transit, and that they wouldn't break when they were stacked on top of each other. The design of the Pringles themselves complemented the shape and the packaging of the canister that Frederick Bauer designed, and the rest is history. God, you know what? I knew there was a reason I decided to make this video. It might have been more the fact that I had an excuse to eat an entire tub of Pringles in one episode, but you be the judge of that. Anyway, Frederick Bauer was the one that originally filed the patent for the design of the iconic Pringles tube and also the method of stacking the chips inside of it. That was submitted in 1966, and the designs were eventually granted in 1970. This simple but effective design solved a lot of problems that a lot of potato chip companies were facing at the time. Mainly that the chips would either get crushed or stale when they were in a bag. Part of the genius of the design meant that transporting the Pringles was both more uniform and economical. This meant that a much larger quantity of products could be shipped at a better price and be done much easier. In his life as an inventor, the other accomplishments that Frederick Bauer had was the various frying oils and also the freeze-dried ice cream he created, which, I'm not gonna lie, freeze-dried ice cream is pretty awesome, but nothing was quite as iconic as the Pringles tube. Honestly, a genius of a man if I do say so myself. But all good things must come to an end. And as the classic Pringles slogan goes, once you pop, you just can't stop. That unfortunately wasn't the case for Frederick Bauer when he died aged 89 when he suffered from Alzheimer's in 2008. Although he was proud of many of his inventions, the one he was most proud of was the iconic Pringles can. He was so proud of this, in fact, that Frederick Bauer, upon his death, had one last will and testament, which he wanted carrying out to the T. Upon his death, to cement his legacy, he wanted to be buried inside a Pringles can. Yes, Frederick Bauer decided to be buried inside the very thing he created. And come to think of it, it's not actually that crazy of an idea. Like, if I created something like this, and you were going to put your mark on history forever by cementing your legacy, surely you'd want to be buried inside something you'd created. I mean, I do the same thing. Why not? That's pretty cool. It's also cool if YouTubers make videos on you and your inventions 10 years after you die. Frederick Bauer's son told Time magazine, "When my dad first raised the burial idea in the 1980s, I chuckled about it. However, he soon realised this man was deadly serious, and he wasn't going out without a blaze of glory. Upon his death, his children decided to carry out his last will and testament and drop by a Walgreens supermarket to pick up a can of Pringles on the way to the funeral home. My siblings and I briefly debated about what flavour to use, Bauer says. But I said, look, we need to use the original. Guys, I'm about to drop an opinion which is incredibly unpopular, but hopefully you'll understand where I'm coming from. My favourite flavour of Pringles is original. I know it's blasphemy to a lot of you guys, but hear me out. There's nothing quite like the salty original taste of Pringles original. There's something about the taste which I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about it, it's just so addictive. And that slogan, once you pop, you just can't stop, that is what this is. You literally, once it's open, that's it. I mean, I have to finish the whole thing, obviously, because why not? And yes, I know, barbecue, sour cream and onion, all of those flavors are good. But this is something else. This particular flavor really gives me the feel I need of Pringles. And I'm pretty sure Frederick Bauer could say the same thing, because when he was cremated, his ashes were put inside a can of Pringles and he was buried in them. It was reported, however, that a single can of Pringles wasn't enough to put all the ashes in, so instead they put most of them in a can and they also put the rest of the ashes in a separate urn. I know this all might sound pretty funny. I mean, economically, it makes a lot of sense because everybody knows that a can of Pringles is pretty robust. Put it this way, a can of Pringles, it sells for about £1.20, which that works out about $1.55. So effectively, if you can get that instead of buying a $100 urn, you've done yourself a pretty good job. Now, I do have to address this because it was a comment that came up quite often when I was doing my research. It was the fact that Frederick Bauer's remains were allegedly put inside the Pringles cans that were being sold in the factory and effectively being sold to customers. People will start rumours about anything if they can get away with it. I mean, I heard subscribing to this channel gives you a better chance of winning the lottery this week. I mean, it's just a rumour. The family had a lot of choices as to what flavour Pringles can they wanted to bury their father in. And I know they picked the original flavour, but I had literally no idea how many flavours of Pringles there were. And I only realised upon researching this topic further. If you're based in the UK like I am, you realise that they've only got the same 5 or so flavours. But when you venture further out, you realise that there's so many more. Now, most of these flavours are only based in either the US or Japan, but I thought it would be interesting to read some of these cool flavours out, because I'd love to try them one day, and if I ever get my hands on them, who knows, I might even make my own video on it one day. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens. The flavours I found were bacon Caesar salad, Bangkok grilled chicken wing, beef kebab, blueberry and hazelnuts. Wow, I had no idea they even had sweet flavours, but I really want to try one now. Cheese carnival, cheeseburger, cheesy quesadilla, chili cheese dog, fun picnic, what? Garlic seafood, grilled shrimp, jalapeno pepper, lemon, blah. Los Angeles street barbecue chicken, nightclub flavor, sounds tasty, rock the floor, okay, these aren't even flavors anymore, soft shelled crab, seaweed, sun-dried tomato, tiger prawn and crushed garlic, zesty queso, and much, much more. Damn, that's a lot of flavors, and I imagine a lot of those seafood varieties are probably more Japanese flavors, but again, I'd still love to try them one day. Who knows? Like I said, if I ever acquire some in the future, I might just make a video on it, and more specifically, maybe try out that amazing nightclub flavor. The Times wrote, if there was a junk food hall of fame, the original Pringles can would stand proudly next to a Toblerone pyramid in the exhibit of ingenious packaging shapes. Honestly, I imagine on first sight, a lot of people will probably just overlook this, but actually researching this topic, I have a much bigger appreciation for the amount of work and effort that went into creating this. Now, that leaves me with one question and one question only. How many Pringles do you think I can fit in my mouth in one go? Because this is, of course, what the internet wants to see. This is the test that everybody's waiting for. This is how we determine the men from the boys. This is how I make myself a complete idiot online. So, here we go. Here is a massive stack full of Pringles. Look how beautiful that is. Right. How am I even gonna do this? Do I just... I have no idea where I did that. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload a new video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you have any idea as to what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video are in the description. Right, well, we best find someone to clean this mess up, because I'm certainly not doing it. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.